this movie won Best Animated Feature at the Golden Globes 2024 over Across the Spider-Verse. I think you all know by now. It's pretty obvious that I prefer Across the Spider-Verse over this movie. But did this movie deserve the win, or did it make me salty about it? Let's find out. Hey guys, this is Frozen Being Stews here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I am going to be doing a review on The Boy and the Heron. So, The Boy and the Heron is the latest Studio Ghibli film, and the latest and most probably the final film from the legendary director Hayao Miyazaki, and is directed by Hayao Miyazaki and stars, well, yeah, I'll just say I did watch the Japanese version, the Japanese subtitle version. You know, the Japanese version with English subtitles instead of the English dub version. I will just say the cast of for the English version. Yeah, we got Luca Padovan, Robert Pattinson, Florence Pugh, Gemma Chan, Karen Fukuhara, Mark Hamill, William Dafoe, Dave Bautista. Did I forget someone? But yeah, and yeah. So The Boy and the Heron tells the story of this young boy named Mahito, who has lost his mother in a tragic fire accident. Yeah, which was shown in the beginning of the movie, where his mother's hospital got burned down, and she quote unquote died from it. Um, well, did she really die though? Well, yeah. So basically, Mahito moved into a new life after that. Like because his father, Stoichi Maki, is yeah, he has a new girlfriend, or I think new wife, named Natsuko, who becomes Mahito's stepmother. And so yeah, they're together now. Mahito lives his new life, and while as Mahito lives in this new life, he is constantly grieving towards his mother's death. He cannot seem to let go of his mother's death, and he is constantly being bullied at school, and bullied everywhere. But one day, this gray heron, who pretty much throughout the first 45 minutes would just constantly keep appearing, like having this one appearance, like, I'm sure you know what I mean by that. Yeah, apparently this gray heron invites Mahito to go on this spiritual journey, because apparently he says that his mother is not really dead and is actually still alive. And so Mahito goes on this journey into this strange world in order to search for his mother, and not to mention also rescue Natsuko, because she was kidnapped by the gray heron, just to get Mahito to go on this adventure. Yeah, sure. I won't tell you if he really finds his mother or not, but this adventure is more of him just. This is more of a spiritually healing adventure for Mahito, as he discovers new worlds and meets new friends throughout. And yeah, that's basically the plot for it. So yeah, The Boy and the Heron. Yeah, this was my second most anticipated movie of fall 2023. Second only behind, well, Wish, but yeah, but this was like straight up my most anticipated movie of December. It's kind of a shame that this movie it's kind of a shame that I was supposed to see this movie last month, back in like early December. Yeah, this movie was supposed to come out on November 29 in my country, but then it was pushed back. A month later to January 8, 2024. So yeah, that's been happening a lot lately with some movies, where like, this movie was supposed to release on this day in my country, but then later on when it gets closer to the release date, it just gets delayed. Yeah, that happens. But yeah, Now, yes, about this movie. Yeah, I was totally hyped for this. Yeah, I am a massive Hayao Miyazaki fan. Yeah, especially with Spirited Away being in my top three favorite movies of all time list. I absolutely love Spirited Away to death. If you haven't seen my Spirited Away review yet, go and watch my Spirited Away review. Spirited Away review, yeah. And one of my shorter reviews, I know you guys want my reviews to be shorter, so yeah. Will this review be shorter? I don't know. Well, I actually have a lot to say in mind, but I'll try my best to make it short. So, but I can't really tell. But anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. Um, so yeah, this movie. Now, yes, it's kind of a good and a bad thing at the same time that this movie got delayed a month because delayed to January because one I had to wait that long for this movie. I had to wait extremely long for it, and that's the bad thing. But the good thing is, yeah, this movie came on my birthday. Yeah, and I got to see this movie as my birthday movie. Oh, and by the way, yes, as I'm recording this, today is my birthday, so um, so yeah, I'd like you to wish me a happy birthday down below in the comments. But yeah, this was my birthday movie, and yeah, now I've been watching a lot of reviews for this movie, and so many people are calling this movie overrated. Yes, it is. It is a well-received movie. It is a critically acclaimed film, as expected. But a lot of people are literally hating on this movie, saying it's overrated. It doesn't. It's overhyped, and they're basically like, oh, people only give this movie high praise just because it's directed by Hayao Miyazaki. But actually, this is a mid movie. Yeah. Yeah, and some people even going as far as calling this the weakest Miyazaki movie. Like, really? Now, don't get me wrong. Hayao Miyazaki is one of those directors who can do no wrong. Yeah, none of his movies are I wouldn't even say not great. Like, none of them are just not great. They're all like 4 stars or above at least, or at least I think. Literally the weakest Miyazaki movie, I would even give it like around 4 to 4.5 stars. So you can clearly see the passion I have towards Miyazaki. And the fact that this was going to be like the culmination of everything Miyazaki has been doing, and this could possibly be his final film, yeah. You all know how much I've been hyping on this movie ever since I reacted to that first teaser trailer for it. And yeah, and I gotta say, yeah, the cinema experience for this movie was one of the best cinema experiences I have ever seen. My theater was literally jam-packed. I have not been in a theater this full since my showing of Frozen 2 back when, before the pandemic. Yeah, just like my showing of Frozen 2, my showing of The Boy and the Heron, there was literally no seats, and that rarely happens because every time I watch a movie, there would often be like at least a few seats, vacant seats, but with Boy and the Heron, not at all. Yeah, but I think it's just because, my country is basically high on, my Filipinos are basically high on anime. I'm not really as high on anime as other Filipinos. I just love Ghibli films as films, I guess. But I'm not really as anime obsessed, but yeah. I can probably tell all these people are anime obsessed, and that's actually kind of why there are a lot of people watching The Boy and the Heron in my country. In my country. Like, the guy beside me, this guy beside me was even wearing a cool looking Studio Ghibli shirt, and I literally want that shirt so badly. Yeah, and yeah, my audiences were awesome. They were actually reacting, like, you know, they were like reacting throughout, like, crying and stuff. They were crying in the emotional scenes. Yeah, they were like, yeah, reacting. And yeah, when the movie ended, I was looking at a bunch of the audiences, and almost all of them, nearly all of them, were crying. Yeah, and yes, they clapped at the end. And rarely in my country, rarely do we ever get audiences clapping at the end of the movie. Because the only times when the audience would clap is when a movie is something truly special. But yeah, But anyways, enough of that. On to my thoughts on the Boy and Heron. But yeah, after seeing the Boy and Heron for myself, I can definitely confirm to you all that the Boy and Heron is an absolute masterpiece. This movie lived up to the hype, and I would say it's even better than what I was expecting. Yeah, this movie is absolutely perfect. Yeah, saying this movie is a masterpiece, like, is that even like, I don't know if that's even enough to justify how good of a movie this is. And yeah, this movie is something truly special. Yeah. Yeah, say what you want about this movie being overrated and overhyped, but at least you gotta at least respect this movie for what it's trying to do, because this is the final film, well, quote unquote final, if it is the final film of the beloved director Hayao Miyazaki. Miyazaki. So yeah, you gotta at least respect this. You don't have to love this movie, just respect it. But honestly, I don't get why people call this movie overrated. Like basically the criticisms I hear about this movie is that, you know, like Mahito's an uninteresting protagonist, and the story is confusing. Well, I loved Mahito. He's definitely an amazing character. Not my favorite character. I'll talk more about it later. But yeah, Mahito does not deserve that. Deserve to be called a boring and underdeveloped protagonist. And yeah, and yes, and I gotta say, yeah, this is my second favorite Studio Ghibli movie. Second only behind well, of course, Spirited Away. I mean, it was obvious. There's no way it was gonna beat Spirited Away. But the fact that dethroned the Ghibli films like Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki, and even Kiki's Delivery Service really shows how good this movie is. Yeah, so what do I love about the movie? Oh boy. There's a lot of process about this movie, but I'm gonna keep it brief, yeah. First, let's talk about the animation. This feels like watching this movie theaters feels like an experience I've never witnessed before, because this is the first time I've ever seen a 2D animated movie in cinemas. Yeah, didn't see the re-release of Lion King or Beauty and the Beast and all these old 2D animated Disney classics, but The Boy and the Heron is the first animated movie I've seen in 2D, and it really feels like a jaw-dropping experience just watching hand-drawn, just watching hand-drawn animation on the big screen. It was certainly something. Yeah, I gotta say, this is the best 2D animation I have ever seen yet. Not the best animation of the year. I mean, Wish Across the Spider-Verse and I'd say even Elemental have better animation. But when it comes to just the 2D, the hand-drawn animation, I think that this has the best hand-drawn animation yet, even over The Lion King and Spirited Away. And I am not joking when I say that. Yeah, I know. I only say that because, you know, this movie is new and therefore it's more technologically advanced. But seriously, I mean, this doesn't even feel so modernized at all. It feels like a classic. It feels like you're watching a classic on a big screen. And yet everything about this animation is so jaw-droppingly gorgeous, especially that beginning scene when basically we see Mahito running. We see Mahito running, pretty much running through the fire. When there's like this fire, Mahito's like running and going after his mother. Yeah, like you can see the art style when it comes to that shot of Mahito running towards the fire, and you see like this background. It kind of feels like a painting. Yeah, there's this style going on, and man, it is just, whoo, yeah. And everything, like, you know, from the character designs to the effects, especially with the strange world that Mahito journeys into. Yeah, it is just beautiful, and and especially also the Great Beyond, like the one with the old guy who I assume had humble voices in the English dub. Yeah, that scene was also beautiful. Like shots with Mahito looking out in the sun. Yeah, it is almost just as gorgeous as Luca looking at the binary sunset in Star Wars: A New Hope. Yeah, it's that good. The story is very complex, and This is such a very complex story. I know I get why people say this movie is confusing, but personally, I did not get confused at the story at all. It encourages audiences to pay attention because there were a lot of hidden meanings and metaphors. So, but thankfully, I was able to understand them. I'm not gonna be able to I'm not gonna be able to explain much about the metaphor as much as I would love to make a deep breakdown on what I understand in the story, like explain how interpreted this movie, how I interpret this movie. I don't really have time. I don't want to spend too much time on that. But I will just say that this movie basically symbolizes the end of Miyazaki's career, especially with an ending. Yeah. That's what this movie is trying to symbolize. Like legit, like the whole movie itself. It's symbolizing the end of Hayao Miyazaki's career. And I love all the characters in this movie. Of course, well, you got the main guy himself, Mahito, who a lot of people say he's a boring character. Even Anima did, despite giving this a seal of approval, he dislikes Mahito. He's one of those Mahito dislikers, and honestly, Mahito is such an underrated protagonist. Is he the best character in the movie? No, but if you saw my top 5 favorite boy and Heron characters on Instagram, Mahito certainly made the list, and I even put him above the great Heron. Yeah, my favorite character in the movie would be Lady Himi. Yeah, that pretty much adorable girl who is pretty much with Mahito. Yeah, first of all, yeah, Mahito and Himi, they look perfect together. I honestly ship them. Yeah, they're so perfect together. I mean, pretty much the final like 30 to 40 minutes of the movie, the third act, when Lady Himi pretty much fully shows up to be with Mahito. Yeah, that's that was probably the best part of the movie. The entire third act with Lady Himi and Mahito teaming up together. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, Mahito, seeing Mahito and Lady Himi's chemistry is one of my favorite things about the film. I also love Lady Himi's fire powers. It kind of reminds me of Elsa's ice powers, except just with fire. And she is adorable. Yeah, Lady Himi is so cute. Yeah. And then you got Kiriko, who is also another one of my favorite characters. Kiriko is a character who was voiced by Florence Pugh in the English dub, and Florence Pugh is still one of my favorite actresses, by the way. I actually get why Lady Himi didn't have a lot of screen time. It's because when it comes to the second and third act, we'd see Mahito pretty much just bonding with a female character. When it comes to the second act, it's Kiriko, and then in the third act it becomes Lady Himi all of a sudden. Yeah, the Grey Heron is great. I don't think the Grey Heron is slightly overrated. It's just everyone considers the Grey Heron as the best character in the movie. I guess probably just because he was voiced by Robert Pattinson and he was trying to sound like Willem Dafoe, but I don't think he's the best character. He is in my top 5 though, for sure. Either him or that man at the end of the movie. At the end of the movie. But I still love the Grey Heron. Natsuko is my second favorite character. She's probably my boy in the hair crush. She's the character who Jama-chan voices in the English dub, and she is Mahito's stepmother. Yeah, Mahito's stepmother, and I did not think this movie would have a villain at all. Yeah, but we got Dave Bautista's character in English dub, the Parakeet King. Yeah, that white bird. Yeah, and then you got those colorful henchmen birds. Yeah, I mean, I knew he was gonna be in there. I knew about this guy, but I didn't think he would be a villain at all. Rarely does a Hayao Miyazaki movie ever have a villain. Yeah, not even Spirited Away. So, well, unless if you count those things. Oh wait, yeah, Spirited Away has a villain. Yeah, Yubaba. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't think there would be a villain in this movie, and The Parakeet King, while he is probably my least favorite aspect of the film, the weakest link of the film, I still think the Parakeet King was such an awesome villain, and a very surprising one too. And he feels very menacing. Yeah, he did like I won't spoil anything, but at the third act of the movie, he did something very menacing. Like he did something where like, yeah, someone from an audience shouted, "Oh no!" Yeah, someone from an audience shouted that, and yeah, um, yeah, I won't say much about that, but yeah. Oh yeah, and let's talk about the score because oh my goodness, yeah, I did not think anything would dethrone Thomas Newman's score for Elemental as my favorite score of the year. Yeah, but there goes the score by the legend himself, Joe Hiyashi, who is now my second favorite composer of all time, second only behind the GOAT himself, Hans Zimmer. Yeah, John Williams here now my third favorite composer, no longer second because, I mean, Joe Hiyashi, he nails it every single time he composes. You know, Spirited Away score is one of the greatest scores of all time, and I mean, the score in this film, yeah, I gotta be honest, this it's not only the best score I've heard this entire year, but the best score I've heard this entire decade. Yeah, just by praising the score alone, you already know the Boy and Heron will win something at my Frozen Awards 2024. Yeah, you can already see that coming. Yeah, that I mean, yeah, you know, there's scores one of the aspects of film that feels very personal to me. Yeah, because not only does it, you know, a score, you know, is very catchy, very memorable, especially with an action scene, and the score can go big. But one thing a score does best is be emotional. When a score hits me hard and makes me cry, you know you've done something really special to the music. And I gotta say, I have not been this emotional listening to a movie score since Hans Zimmer's score in Interstellar, nearly 10 years ago. Yep, there I said it. Yeah, the score really hits hard. Like almost, pretty much, you know, the more popular tracks, the ones you hear in the trailer, is yeah, they all like made me cry every time you hear that, especially with the dun 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 dun. Yeah, the piano one. It's the score that was heard in the final trailer. Basically, the score can be heard every time Mahito finds answers to something that serves as one of the most important plot points. Some of the most important plot points in this entire film. Yeah, you hear that dun 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 score. Yeah, sorry, my voice isn't really in the mood for singing right now. Yeah, or even humming. But yeah. So overall, yeah, The Boy and the Heron is a masterpiece. Yeah, Hayao Miyazaki did not disappoint once again. Yeah, and in fact, it's better than the vast majority of his films outside of Spirited Away. Yeah, it's deep, it's complex, it requires attention, it's beautiful, it's emotional, it's resonating, and yeah, this is the perfect film for Hayao Miyazaki's final film, and this is the perfect movie to movie to watch for my birthday. So yeah, this certainly makes my top 10 favorite movies of 2023 list. I don't know where this would rank in my favorite movies of the year list, but I'll just say, I would probably replace Quantumania with this. Yeah, sorry, but Quantumania is no longer in my top 10 favorite movies of 2023 list. I would probably now put Quantumania at number 11. This movie is just better. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is this my favorite movie of the Golden Globes? Not like the Golden Globe nominees for Best Animated Feature. No, I still prefer Vision Across the Spider-Verse, but Boy and the Heron, I'm very happy for its win. Yeah, it totally deserved that. So with that said, I'm going to give The Boy and the Heron 5 stars out of 5. Mass perfect movie. If you haven't seen The Boy and the Heron yet, please do me a favor, go see this movie. So also for my review of The Boy and the Heron, what are your thoughts on the movie? Would you agree with me that this movie is a perfect masterpiece, and one of the best Hayao Miyazaki movies, or are you one of those people who calls the movie overrated? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and yep, the day has come. Yep, the Frozen Awards 2024 is happening, and it starts tomorrow. And also stay tuned for other reviews as well. Godzilla, yeah, I'm planning to make Godzilla -1 my next review. So yeah, bye guys.